This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today we're going to explain why a marine insurance policy is not crop insurance, even if it is insuring a farmer. Lloyd's Marine's policy only insured against loss of property in transit, and therefore could not help the insured farmers' losses due to a hurricane destroying parts of their crop. After Hurricane Irma damaged its property, the Perro family farm filed an insurance claim. Lloyd's accepted coverage for part of the claim but denied coverage for the rest. Lloyd sued, seeking declaratory judgment that the insurance policy did not cover the denied portion of the claim, and the district court granted summary judgment to Lloyd's. Perro Family Farm appealed, and the United States Court of Appeal for the 11th Circuit interpreted the policy on behalf of both parties. The Perro farm grows vegetables, primarily peppers and beans, that it prepares and packages for either retail sale at grocery stores or wholesale by food service companies. The seeds Perro uses are either prepared by Perro from its own vegetables or purchased from third-party seed providers. Perro plants some of the seeds in fields it owns or leases in Florida, but Perro also sends seeds to Transgrow, a third-party plant grower. Transgrow plants the seeds and grows the seedlings in its greenhouses in Immokalee, Florida, until the seedlings are mature enough to be transported to Perro's fields and planted in the ground. Once Perro harvests its vegetables, it transports them to its cooled storage facility in Delray Beach, Florida, where it cleans, sorts, stores, and packages the vegetables. Perro packages some of its vegetables in plastic packaging. It then transports the vegetables from the Delray Beach facility to its final customers. In 2015, Perro applied to Lloyd's for insurance and stated that its primary operations were grower, packer, seller of vegetables, mainly peppers and green beans, that the type of goods to be insured was produce, primarily peppers and green beans, and that it sought to insure domestic shipments of green beans and peppers on vehicles like dump trucks moving from field to packing house. Seed is also stored on location. The policy contained a Florida choice of law provision. All goods or merchandise of every description incidental to the business of the assured or in connection therewith were the subject matter that was insured, and the policy limits were $150,000 for any one domestic inland conveyance and $5 million for any one location. On September 10, 2017, Hurricane Irma struck South Florida. Perro submitted a claim to Lloyd's for the damage it suffered as a result of the hurricane. Perro sought coverage for the loss of vegetables stored in the coolers at its packing house in Delray Beach, as well as seedlings that had been growing in Transgrow's greenhouses in Immokalee, plants that had been growing in Perro's fields, and plastic coverings that had been placed over the plants growing in Perro's fields. Lloyd's accepted coverage and issued payment for Perro's loss of the vegetables at its coolers that were in transit, but denied coverage for the damage to the seedlings growing in Transgrow's greenhouses, the plantings in Perro's fields, and the plastic covers in Perro's fields that were not in transit. Lloyd sued Perro, seeking a declaration that the policy did not cover the damage to the seedlings, plantings, or plastic coverings. Lloyd's alleged that coverage was not due under the policy because, one, the seedlings, planted crops, and crop covers were not in transit at the time of the loss, so there was no in-transit coverage. Two, the seedlings, planted crops, and crop covers were not in storage at any location as defined by the policy, so there was no location coverage. And three, seedlings and immature plants are crops, and the policy did not provide crop coverage because Perro specifically sought cargo coverage for the transit and storage of fresh harvested produce, dry seeds, and packaging from field to storage and while in storage, not crop insurance. The district court granted summary judgment for Lloyd's and denied Perro's motion because the unambiguous language in the policy did not provide coverage for Perro's damaged seedlings, plantings, and plastic coverings. The 11th Circuit agreed with Perro that the policy's language was clear and unambiguous, but it also agreed with Lloyd's and the district court that the policy did not cover Perro's damaged seedlings, plantings, and plastic coverings. The policy unambiguously covered goods or merchandise only while they were in transit or by extension in store as stock at a location during the transit process. It said, quote, "Within the geographical limits of this policy, cover hereunder shall attach from the time the assured assumes an interest in and/or responsibility for the subject matter insured, and continues uninterrupted, including transit, stock, and location coverage until the interest and/or responsibility ceases." The geographical limits of the policy were from a beginning point to an end location, and anywhere goods or merchandise stopped in between. Coverage continued uninterrupted, including transit, stock, and location coverage during the trek. The policy was entitled Marine Cargo Insurance, and cargo, although not defined in the policy, was generally understood at the time to mean goods transported by a vessel, airplane, or vehicle. Consistent with the duration of voyage clause, the policy's title, and the claims procedure, the policy's other provisions showed that it covered goods or merchandise only while in transit or in storage during the transit process. The policy's information section said that the policy covered, quote, transits from the field to packing house, and the statement of value attached to the policy noted that Perro's Delray Beach packing house held stock inventory valued at $5 million, the same amount as the policy's per location coverage limit. Perro's 2015 insurance application, which was attached to and made a part of the effective policy, which the 11th Circuit found it must treat as part of the contract, explained that the policy covered only goods or merchandise in transit or in storage during the transit process. Specifically, the application document showed that Perro sought to insure domestic shipments of green beans and peppers on vehicles moving from field to packing house and the seed stored on location. Close quote. Because the insurance policy clearly and unambiguously did not cover the portion of Perro's claim that Lloyd's denied, the crops growing in the fields, the district court properly granted summary judgment for Lloyd's and denied partial summary judgment for Perro. In my opinion, of course, insurance policies are contracts, and they must be interpreted as written if they are unambiguous. The policy obtained by Perro was not insurance of its crops, but was limited to coverage for that portion of its crops that were in transit. The hurricane caused damage to some of the crop and merchandise in transit, but did not damage crop that was not in transit, and the policy did not insure other damages caused by the hurricane to property not in transit. Lloyd's used simple, clear, unambiguous language that both parties agreed was unambiguous, and the 11th Circuit, as it must, applied the contract as written. This video was adapted from my blog Zelma on insurance and is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zelma.com/blog. You can subscribe to the blog and you will receive notice of at least 5 blog postings a week, sometimes 6. And you will also be able to view the videos at no cost at either youtube.com or rumble.com. And you can subscribe to the videos and also be advised as the videos are produced. If you have viewed this video, I'd appreciate it if you click on the like button if you view it on YouTube, or the Rumble button if you view it on Rumble. And if you believe these videos are worthwhile, please tell your friends and colleagues so that they can also subscribe to the blog and see over 4,500 blog postings, or to the videos where you can see more than 650 videos. And it might be worthwhile to you to also consider subscribing to my Locals community or my Substack publications. Thank you for your attention.